You're listening to the Wednesday Till I Die podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday Till I Die podcast. Back to winning ways, a 3-1 win in the huge local derby against Doncaster Rovers. Goals from Callum Patterson, Barry Bannon, and the one, the only, never in doubt, Cometh the hour, Cometh the man, Burundi's finest, of course it was, Mr. Saido Berahino. Meant that we took the 3 points and kept our playoff hopes well and truly alive. I'm James Mappin, as ever. I'm joined by Liam Russell. Liam, mate, how are you? All right?
Yep, not bad, mate. Fragile as always.
It's a common theme, isn't it, on a Sunday?
I'm having a quiet one this weekend, I promise. And then brother-in-law says, "Your sister's out today. We're going to have a beer." I was like, "All right then." You've twisted me arm.
Didn't take much persuading though, did it? To be fair,
not so.
No Giles Cole, because you see this week stuck on the motorway. Typical. But yeah, we'll be discussing the victory in more detail, as well as talking about some of the other points from the game. Obviously, look ahead to the hopefully two fixtures, but probably going to be just the one, or maybe not even one. To be fair,
we'll see what happens.
Obviously we have got Fleetwood and Charlton this week. We can talk about that. First of all, Liam, won a bit of money on the boxing, didn't you, this week?
I did, mate. Cheeky little. I think it was 60 quid in the end, so not as much as it could have been, because I was just saying to you then, I was telling everyone, rounds 4 to 6, and then I kept saying 6, which was 25 to 1, and I didn't bother sticking it on, but I won a little bit, which is always nice.
It's all right. I mean, I can't remember last time I had a bet, to be fair, but I used to be quite bad for it.
I was as well, to be fair. So that's why I don't bet that often anymore.
I were betting on under 18 Spanish basketball, stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? When it gets to that stage, I think you've
hit a limit.
You've got to stop. Yeah. Did you obviously watch the fight? What did you think to it?
Yeah, it was. I think it was steady away, wasn't it? Brooke was miles better, weren't he? I mean, by this point, I was. I might need to watch it back. Let's put it that way to comment on it. To comment
intoxicated.
On it, to comment on it properly, but yeah, it seemed pretty easy for Brooke.
I mean, I'm not exactly a boxing fan. I'm not I thought he stopped it a bit early. I've watched it back, and I think I just wanted to see. I mean, I can't get knocked out. To be quite frank, you know what I mean?
To be fair, I don't particularly like either of them, but. Obviously, Brooks from Sheffield, so you've got to.
Yeah, I mean, rivalry. I know he's a blade, isn't he? But rivalries aside and what have you, you've got to.
You've got to go for your own way, haven't you?
It was all right. It was a bit of entertainment, what have you. It worth 20 quid. I don't know. Probably not.
I hate paying for any of them, to be honest. But
I think Alex Miller said 6 months ago, he was like, "No, not paying for it. Waste of money. This, that, and the other." Then he put today, as in Saturday night. Sky, have me money, fantastic, well done. You're doing a great job. It's funny, and I was a bit like that. To be fair, it were only yesterday where I thought, I'll watch it. Do you know what I mean? It were one of them ones. Now, for those listening, you might just want to head over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. I'll put the link in the description. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if we've done it right, this week, you're not only going to be able to listen to us, but you'll also be able to watch us as well. If it's not there, we fucked up, basically.
We've not done it right.
Something's gone wrong. So yeah, first time recording the podcast. So hopefully that's going to be a feature. We're just trialing it at the moment. So hopefully that's going to be something that we do every week. Let's go on to the game then. 3-1 win. They say football's like a game of two halves. I think you've got to say exactly the same for the Donny game. I mean, we'll go over the lineup. I'll not read it out in full, but there were 3 changes. Obviously, 2 were forced. Mendez-Lang and Hutch both injured. Patterson also dropped to the bench. In came Canberra, Silaso and Brennan as well, making up that back 3 with Palmer and Storey. What did you think to that? I mean, obviously the 2, Mendez-Lang and Hutch, we knew they were going to sit out. The big talking point was probably who were going to start up front.
I think I was surprised, to be honest. I thought, and I know people, hindsight and whatever else, but I genuinely thought Patterson and Berahino would have started personally. Yeah. So yeah, I was a bit surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we spoke in midweek, didn't we? I asked the question. I know everyone listening to this is thinking I'm probably Berahino's biggest critic, and I don't like him, and I think he's been awful since he first came. But we said in midweek, is this his chance?
Yeah. And there was no like we said, we needed some no one was firing who'd been playing regularly at the moment. So someone needs a chance to, we just need one of them to get going. So that's what I thought anyway. So
yeah, I mean, obviously, Sow and Canberra started up front. People have been saying this week, why because I was saying, I'd start Berahino, and I was saying, why would you start Berahino ahead of Silaso? Like, he scored against Oxford, he scored against Plymouth, he had quite a good game against Plymouth, but it showed in that first half. I mean, the chances that the header from 6 yards out,
he had that header, and then there was the one where he turned and just had a really, really weak shot, and it was just like, I don't know. We just didn't look like we'd got any. Well, I think, did I text you? I texted my dad and I says, at half time, obviously, 1-0 down, I says, we're not scoring on the Sundays here.
I think everyone said exactly the same.
These pair aren't scoring.
They're not, are they?
Could play till next week. play till we next play them next year, and them two were
still not
scored.
I know,
yesterday.
literally, the chance. I mean, the So one, for me, he's got to do better. Like I said, he's like 6 yards out, free header as well. And he just hits it straight at the... Well, he just dribbled to the goalkeeper.
It were weak as anything, weren't it? It was just a weak effort.
Yeah, I mean, Canberra, had a few chances. The thing is, for me, like, they're not getting in the areas that they need to get in. And they're just not...
There were a time as well, I'm sure it was first half, where we put a ball in towards the back stick, and they both went for the ball. Well, I can't remember, it must have been Canberra, I think, knocked it down.
Nobody there.
Sour, whichever way around it was, one of them knocked it down, and the other one had gone for the same bloody ball, so there were no one there to...
Do you think we'll probably talk about it a little bit later on, but do you think they're trying too hard? Do you think they're trying too hard to do something?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know what it is.
Or they're just simply not good enough?
Yeah, or it could be a mixture of both. Like, they know that they feel the pressure that they need to get going.
Yeah.
Or, the team need a striker to start scoring.
Yeah.
And maybe they're just not up for that.
I mean,
that pressure.
You look, and they're at least third choice, aren't they? Because Windass and Gregory are the first two names on the team sheet. So already the third, fourth choice at best. But for me, you need to that's your chance, isn't it?
Have them two played together before? Because that was my thought. I thought, have these two actually played together before? It didn't look like they played together before anyway.
Don't like they trained together. Yeah, my name's Florian. My name's Silla. Nice to meet you. It did look like that, to be fair.
Oh God, it was. It
was weird because that first half we battered him.
We hammered him.
Absolutely hammered him.
70% possession in the first half. I mean, it didn't really change much. I've got 32-68 down here, so it didn't change much throughout the game, to be honest. But yeah, it was just weird, weren't it? And you just thought, I was just sat there thinking, like, I know there's been times earlier in the season where we didn't look like scoring, but to say how well we've played recently, that is like the worst, I think, for me this season. I just didn't think we were going to score.
Yeah, I mean, there were games, like Sunderland, and I thought Shrewsbury was one where we were never going to score at all. But yeah, like we were creating the chances though, weren't we? It just didn't look like anything was going to happen. And then the penalty, I mean, your man.
Well, it were.
Have you had words?
It were between him and were it Byers?
Byers, yeah, came as well, yeah.
It were a nightmare, that, weren't it? I mean, see, I don't think Mass did get the ball, did he, with that slide? And then he came and clattered him from the other side, and it was just like the most blatantly obvious penalty I've ever seen in my life.
I know. But the thing is, though, you could see it coming. How many times have we said we've battered a team now?
Yeah.
We were on top, creating the chances. I don't think they really had a sniff, to be fair. They might have had one or two chances, but not real cutting-edge chances.
No. Not in the first half. They had a couple in the second half, didn't they?
Yeah, but then, lo and behold, we give a penalty away. And, I mean, I thought, Bailey Peacock-Farrell saved a few, but he weren't saving that one, really, to be fair. Like, credit where credit's due.
Great pen.
Like, top corner. I don't think even, Premier League goalkeepers aren't going to save that one.
You can't. No one was saving that. Let's be honest. So.
And, gone in at the break, 1-0 down. And I turned to father-in-law and I said, is that season over then? If we lose this game 1-0, is that the season done? And he's like going, there's lots of points to play for. And I'm like, I get that. But then, because if you look at all the other teams, I think at that point, I know Sunderland went on to lose, but I think at that point they were drawing. Wickham, which we'll talk about in a second, actually, that were a crazy game.
Unbelievable game.
But they were all not losing, I think, at that point. Or they were all doing all right. So the fact that I think we went something like 5 points adrift or 4 points adrift and what have you. Now we're thinking like, is that it? We can't score. Gregory, he's not back. Windass ain't back. I really feared for the season, and then the second half comes around and
complete change.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we nothing really changed in terms of the actual way we played. I think because we were playing well in the first half. But I must admit, everyone could see that the change needed to be Patterson and Canberra.
Yeah, 100%.
But did you think you were going to actually do it though?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't either. I didn't. I'm not a chance. I thought 60 minutes late earliest.
60, 70 minutes is when he does his subs, in it? Really.
But fair play to him. Like, bold that. I like it. Like,
yeah, he's obviously seen that it's not working. He's got 2 players on bench, and probably the only 2 players that he could really bring on.
Yeah, and I don't know. Is it with Pato? Fair enough, he's played quite a bit recently, hasn't he? So, but like I think I kind of mentioned it to Giles the other week. Do you feel players like that who probably deserved a start? It might put some fire in him when he comes on. When he does come on, like, and be like, right, I'm going to prove you wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, he got his goal as well, Patterson. I've got written down here. He puts his head where it
I've
hurts.
literally got the same thing written down.
Well, he puts his head where people won't even put the foot. Do you know what I
mean? He swung, that lad swung a boot at it, didn't he? And
caught him as well. By the way,
he was like, "This is only going in the net." Like, it came across to him, and they managed to save it, or defender blocked it, whatever it was. I don't know which one it was. He was like a battering ram, weren't he? Well, like, the second attempt, this is going in the net. I think if he'd have just thrown himself at it and got it net with it, that's why he has to play for me. If people aren't available, obviously he's not playing up front when everyone's fit. But if he's needed, he should play. For me.
I've not been his biggest fan. Again, I do question where he plays and what have you, and what his best role is and stuff like that. But I think when he does come on, I think he's more of like an impact sub. I think he's one of them players that can come on and he can change the game, and especially when something's not quite working. He's we all talk about his shithousery tactics. Barging into the goalkeeper like he did at Rotherham and knocked a few of them over and things like that. He's good at doing that, and I think he can change it when things aren't quite going our way.
He's just a bit of a nuisance, isn't he, as well? He'll make himself a nuisance, and they might think they're thinking about him. He's one of them players that the centre halves. You've got to be switched on all the time, because he won't leave you alone, will he?
No, and he's always at you. Just on a side note, did you hear about the Newcastle striker Chris Woods with
with
Kurt Zuma.
They put a complaint into referee because he kept meowing at it.
Do you know what though?
That's fantastic. If it's true, that's brilliant.
But do you know what? When I saw that, I thought that's something that Patterson would do. That is something that Patterson would do to one of their players. Like, that's the type of thing that he does. And
did you see him on one at celebrations? I don't know which goal it was, when he jumps on Stewart.
No, I don't.
They're all crowded round, and like when they go and jump on each other's back.
Yeah,
he went and jumped on Stewart.
He just fucks about, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? I bet he's a great laugh doing in dressing.
Oh yeah,
and he's in dressing. I know they can't do perhaps as much stuff as what you hear some of the stories of the
used to.
Yeah, but I bet he's just one of them ones that obviously Scottish as well, so he's got that like Scottish twang and whatnot. But yeah, we got the goal. I think it was fully deserved.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We were on top, and going back to 1-1. Then the penalty came. Was the penalty at 1-1?
Yeah, penalty was at 1-1.
I thought it were. There was that many goals, obviously. Forget about it. But the penalty come. 100,000,001% not a penalty.
I don't even. Well, at the time, I didn't know what he'd given it for. When I was watching it, I was like, "Is he giving it because did someone like it looked like someone might have pulled Pato back when he was going for the ball?"
Yeah,
and then obviously it was for the handball apparently. But
it hit him his face.
I was going to say, did it even hit his hand?
I mean, I've not seen it back, but it looked for me like it's hitting full square on his face.
The thing is, right, even if that close. Even if it had hit his hand, it's not an handball, is it?
No.
Let's be honest.
No, he was literally about 2 yards away from him. I mean, at the time, I'm thinking, all right, it's not a penalty, but we'll take it. There's been decisions that
He
we've had.
definitely had Wednesday on his slip, didn't he? That referee.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, but there's been times where, you know, this season where we've, you know, had the goal that got choked off for it against Oxford, I think it were, that should have been a goal when he gave offside.
Oh god, yeah.
You know, I mean, there's been decisions.
Was that Sal? No, it was Shadipo, weren't it?
That was Shadipo, yeah. Was it against Oxford as well, or was it against Shrewsbury?
I can't remember. But
anyway,
it was Shadipo though, weren't it? I remember it. Yeah.
Who was he, by the way? Shadipo.
Yeah.
Another one that we've signed.
MIA.
Exactly, yeah. But, you know, we got the penalty, and I thought, well, this is a game where, you know, we were obviously at the time we were struggling to score. Obviously, we got the goal to get it 1-1. I thought, you know, take the chance. Bannon steps up again. I did exactly the same as what for the Wigan.
I still weren't confident.
I'm thinking who's going to take it. Obviously, at the time, there's Patterson and Berahino on the pitch. I suppose he's took it because he's thought I've scored my last one. But I mean, did you listen to his interview after the Wigan game?
Well, yeah, because when he told him that what his strongest side was,
and
then he went, "Oh, that might have been a mistake," and it's like, oh yeah, he might have been thinking about that, or did he just put it down the middle, didn't he?
Yeah, kind of down the middle, and the keeper got it with his legs,
yeah.
And
it didn't matter in the end, did it? But I'd like to see, you know, I mean, I don't know, I've not really watched it back in any. You know, if anyone else wanted the ball or had shown any interest in taking it.
Hunt says, when they're walking off, Hunt says, I'm on penalties next week or something like that. So he's not scored, has he? In his, like, however many games he's played, however many years Hunt's played for us, he's not scored.
Never scored for us.
No, he's never scored a goal. Worst record than Liam Palmer.
Bloody hell, that's hard, isn't it? I said, Sam, this is you, didn't I? I had £5 on Palmer to score. I don't know what possessed. I just got a feeling. I messaged you and Giles and I was saying, Palmer's scoring today, and I thought I best put a £5 on it because if I don't and he scores, I'm going to be fuming.
Whenever you say something like that, when you think, I think it's going to be a 5-1 or something stupid, you have to put a £5 on it, don't you? Because if not, 100%. Like you'd be absolutely kicking yourself. But yeah, I mean, he's missed the penalty. I don't think he'll be taking the next penalty.
No, it depends who's on the pitch. But like you say, it's weird that like Patterson and Berahino obviously haven't scored. Patterson's on a bad run. Berahino's again equally not scored forever. You'd think. Even if it's hard because if they miss it, but you'd rather give them like there's no there's no not easier, but
it's a glaring chance.
It's the easiest way to get yourself going. So I don't know, but
it's probably because he scored it, hasn't he? He scored the last one. He thought, you
can't take him on. Unless Gregory was on the pitch, it didn't really bother me, but I was nervous.
Who would you actually have then? You know. The scoring the goal before aside, who would you have had as taking that penalty? Berahino or Patterson?
A striker, yeah, I'd say Berahino. As much as bad form is in and whatever else, if you've got a proper striker on the pitch, they've got to take pens from it.
Yeah,
unless it's like, it's Gerrard and Lampard and that they can get away with it. Yeah. But Bannon's, I mean, fair enough, he scored later in the game, didn't he? But he's not like prolific, is it?
That's one of the things in his game that I think he lacks goals. You know, he doesn't. For me, he doesn't score enough goals at all. Like period. To be
three.
Fair.
Well, other than penalties from open plays, he got 3. Doncaster first game, this one, and
that one from Crewe away from home.
Yeah,
from the edge of the box. That were the other. So he's got 4 goals all together. For me, he needs to be scoring like 7 or 8. Like 9, maybe.
Yeah, he's still got time on it, and he's in a bit of a good run. So fingers crossed. Obviously, he's good in it. So we'll let him off.
Well, no Bannon bashing this week. Second goal, my man, Saido Berahino. I think I might have his name on my shirt.
Mate, you know them trampolines that were stuck to his feet. They've obviously blown away and win now.
I know. See, do you know what? Right. Joking aside, I know I've said that he's been shy all season,
which he has.
He has been shit. I don't think I've been the only person.
You know.
Yeah, he's been shit on it this season. He's just not. You know, I think it was Ben on the debate show was saying Giles pulled him up, didn't he? When he was saying he just don't look interested and stuff like that. But I think I read out. I think Shrewsbury were his last start, which was a weird game in itself with the COVID and stuff like that. He's had like 10 minutes here and there. Even then, he's not really been played recently either. So it's he's coming at half time, and he did look a different player, didn't he? To be fair,
mate,
look,
he had some good touches, and that was the problem. Like the thing is, in the right position, he can put a ball in the net.
Yeah,
there's no
said, there's a player in there.
Yeah. There's no, there's not all this hype around him for no reason. Like even when it was many years ago, but he can finish a ball. Like he can finish, he can put it in net. Yeah. But it was the touches, and he looks off the pace. And thing is, like I said, if your first touch is going to go into row's head or front row, you're not going to get your shot off, are you?
No.
So
yeah, exactly.
He looked just off the pace, didn't he? Every time he played for me.
Yeah, I mean. And I think the goal he scored, Gibson, by the way, who put the ball across, getting forward, like the most advanced player on the pitch at that point, he squared it across. And for me, Canberra and So, one, don't get in that position. And if they do get in that position, they're not finishing it the way that he did. He did that drop of the shoulder.
Touch. It's opened it up, didn't it?
Well, he sent him for an hot dog, didn't he? That defender. Yeah. He was still going to far post him. He still turned him. Fantastic finish.
Mate, let's just hope this is it. This is the second coming.
Well, I read on Twitter someone said, what's that saying? One swallow doesn't make a summer. Could be back to normal. Come the next game. Could be. But
mate, this is what we need. If Gregory's still a way off, or because I don't know where the rumour came from that it might have been.
Darren Moore. Someone said this to me actually on Twitter, but Darren Moore himself
said, I thought he
said he's not going to be back for the Rotherham game. Oh no, sorry. I think he said it before the Rotherham game. I think he said he's not going to be back for Accrington, which obviously was supposed to be midweek. Could be back for Donny. So he said it himself.
He must be close then. He must be close. But the thing is,
someone put on Twitter as well. I don't know. I can't remember who said it now. I do apologise, but he said. Has he broke his toe or has he broke his neck? Because it does feel like it, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, he's broke his toe, but he's been out for. It was the Gillingham game, weren't it?
I can't remember. I can't remember. No,
sorry. It was out for that game, but I think that was ages ago. That it were Oxford away when he got the injury apparently. But I mean, I'm not being funny. I've never broke my toe before, but. I know they're quite vital. Do you know what I mean? Like to a footballer, but
mate, I didn't play five-a-side. I'll tell you this, right? We used to play when we worked at Viper. We had a five-a-side team with lads. I think it was anyway. By the way, and I've gone to kick the ball, and they've got moulds on, and they've just put the foot above, and I've followed through and kicked the ball, and he studs my big toe. And like at work, I don't think I've been on there. This is like when we're younger. I've not been on the bar too long. I've been working like glass collecting and bar backing and whatever else. So I was like, and turned up to work, and they always best bartenders were on point, busiest point at bar.
Oh yeah.
Tuesday night, obviously it used to be busy in on Tuesday night. I've made my toe buggered, like, and they go, oh yeah, and I worked afterwards. They're like, oh, you're on point tonight. And I'm like, oh yeah, sounds so. Then worked through it and took me short for end at night. And I don't think I could put it back on. Really? It had just it was black. Oh dear. And it had swollen up, so it's quite. And obviously in football, like you say in football, it's quite.
You do need them toes.
But he's not going to be toe poking it like. But
no, that used to frustrate me. Playing at school and what have you. When you get someone like in PE, normally them people that don't play football, and you're like, they threw on goal and then they fucking toe poke it, and it's. Or you used to play with. I don't know if you're at your school, but we had to wear black shoes. So
mate, some of them school shoes you could get some rape swaz on it, couldn't you?
Some rape power with square ends.
What were they called? Them ones. I know what you mean with square ends with like.
Have you ever tried to play football with shit flickers on? No, with them pointy.
I've never had them. What did I have at school? And then secondary school, to be fair, we were allowed to wear black trainers as long as they were fully black. But at school, what were they called now? Kickers with the
pods.
They were kangaroo. What were they? Were they kangaroos or something?
Something like that.
I remember my mate at school once. He got these. They were kangaroos. I remember, and they're more like boots. Yeah. And he's fucking gone to kick ball, and his shoes flew off and got on roof at school.
Mate, like
his new shoes. I was like, my mum's going to kill.
What do you have to do for the rest of the day then with one shoe?
I think they had to get caretakers to go up and get his shoe.
Mate, that's... Anyway, we digress.
Yeah, sorry, we've got
but just on that second goal, did you see Bannon... Do you know when I was watching it, obviously you're celebrating because of the goal, and then I saw Bannon celebrate, and I thought, I'm sure Berahino scored it. He was celebrating like he'd fucking scored it.
And that's good because I'm not being funny. And we said no ban and bashing, and I've probably mentioned it before. I think his attitude comes across the wrong way sometimes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Whether I'm not saying the way it comes across is what he is actually, but sometimes it looks like he has got a bad attitude in games sometimes. And he just seems to do like trying to rev the crowd up at the wrong times.
Yeah, I know.
At certain points. But yesterday, he was.
Do you think that would be a bit of relief though?
on.
Because obviously, at that point, he just missed the penalty as well, and he's probably feeling shit. Because when he missed the penalty at Shrewsbury, he felt exactly the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, I felt he felt responsible for missing.
Yeah, I don't think he looked as. After that, obviously, because in the play afterwards, he didn't seem as hectic or frantic. Because sometimes, like that game, he was trying to just make up for it, which is fair enough. I get it, but he just seemed to compose himself a bit better. And I think, mate, it's mad that just the whole game after that, we could have missed a penalty. Eds could have gone down.
Yeah,
we could have just.
Like
We could have
collapsed,
just gone flat and whatever else, but it obviously shows they've got fight and they actually want to, they've got the right attitude. They want to play for the manager. Not that that's been in doubt the last few weeks anyway, but and they've just got something in him. You know what I mean? It's so good to like we said earlier in the season, it wouldn't have happened.
I mean, I weren't there, but 4,000 fans at Donny. They were limbs, weren't they? When that goal, well, especially when that second goal went in. Like, I'd have loved to be in that.
Was it Donny in crowd or something?
Yeah, we were. Yeah,
I've not seen this. Grandfather I sit with messaged me and says, "Oh, have you seen Big Dennis in crowd?" I says, "No." Like Reader Johnson.
Yeah, he were there. He's another one that's just kind of almost been forgotten about.
Well, he's out for season.
He is, but he's just one that we've got that many players like Shadipo, like Dennis Adeniran. They're just players that have just kind of
we forgot about, mate. And Gibson coming back. Like, I didn't think he'd be back this
like
soon.
A new signing,
and mate, if he can stay fit till the end of the season, I know this is
big ifs.
Our catchphrase, isn't it? If they can just stay fit.
That's all we ask for. We're not even bothered about the performances. Just please, just stay fit.
Don't get injured.
Don't get injured. But yeah, obviously, 2-1 up. That third goal, I'm going to say it now, for me, goal of the season.
Yeah, for us, yeah.
Absolute.
Our best goal by a mile. Just the whole everything.
Bannon starts the move off, doesn't he? I think I can't remember who we passed
Berahino with a little flick.
No, but I think
he passed someone before that.
I think does he pass it to John? He passes it to someone, and then that flick from Berahino. I've watched it far too many times. Like I should get done for it. Do you know what I mean? The amount of times I've watched it, I've just kept watching it over on repeat.
Is that actually happened? Never dreaming.
I know when I saw it. Yeah, he's flicked it on, and Johnson, who will come on to me again, but he bombs forward. And I think at that point as well, I think they'd almost given up Andy Doncaster. They did thought, fuck it. Do you know what I mean? But still, he's gone down. He's not panicked. He's shown his, Johnson's shown his quality. He's waited and waited and waited, and Barry Bannon. It's gone flying in.
And the finish as well, yeah. It's just hard that.
Like just
guides it, doesn't it? It's such a good goal.
Yeah, the death finish. And that one, this is what thing we've been saying time and time again is finish teams off.
Yeah.
We're on top. We're 2-1 up. All it takes is,
well, they had a chance, didn't they?
At 1-1.
He saved. Peacock Farrell made a decent save down to his deflection, weren't it? They had a shot from outside the area, it deflected.
Yeah.
And he had to go down and save it. And then
just on that one, they missed the fucking sitter, didn't they?
At back post, that one at back post.
He should have. I don't know I can't remember what the score were at the time, but
I think it was still 1-0. Was it they were shooting.
They were shooting in the opposite direction. They were shooting towards their fans.
It might have been. I can't remember, but I know
they should have scored.
It were either 1-0 or 1-1, I think.
Yeah, but he should have buried that. It looked easier to score than it did to miss. I mean, you can see why. Where they are in the league. Do you know what I mean? Like
they weren't very good with that. No. Well, it's like without slating them, like first half. That was the most annoying thing. Going back to the penalty.
Yeah.
They've only scored 23 goals before that game. Just let him shoot it. He'll probably go into Rose Head. He didn't need to make the challenge. That's why it was so annoying. I was just like, if he scores it, fair enough.
Yeah, it's a good goal, isn't it? Yeah.
But we don't matter in the end. It was just funny at the time. I'm thinking, fucking Mondo these are.
I know, but that missing, like I said, the save from Peacock Farrell, that was crucial. Because that, like I said there, even when it's 2-1, they could go down the other end and score a goal. And and then you're back to square one again. And how many times has that happened this season where we're on top, we're playing, all right, not playing the best football, but we just can't finish as chances. And then lo and behold, we get pegged back or we go a goal behind or whatever, like we did in the first half. But yeah, to actually finish a team off, it were good, and that we've got that monkey off his back as well.
And we deserved it, man. We deserved it. Well, because it's the first time that away from behind away since 2016.
2016,
mate,
Birmingham.
This year, right, I'm not being funny. This year, we've turned it around a game at home.
Yeah.
We've turned it around a game away. We've had a run of I know there were lots of draws in it, but however many games unbeaten. We won 4 in a row. When's the last time? I think I banged on a bike last week, but the last time I've actually been, we go to the football, we enjoy it. You always enjoy going. But these last few weeks, it's that extra, because we're playing well.
Yeah.
And we're on a run. And when's the last time you've been more excited than normal to go to Hillsborough?
I know.
I can't remember the last time. Forest, like the promotion seat, like the
playoff season.
Playoff seasons. It's just good. It's like a good...
Well, we feel like we're going to win a game. I mean, we've only lost 2 games at home, I think, this season. So when you go to Hillsborough, more often than not, you're not going to see him lose.
When's that as well? When was Hillsborough last a fortress?
Oh, don't say them words. They said it, fortress. I know. Like, could be a swimming pool, which we'll come on to in a bit. I don't know about
sounds
fortress.
Like it's raining again now, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. So obviously for those that might be affected by the floods, obviously, we do send us best wishes and what have you. Hope it's not as bad as what
I saw one of the pubs put on Facebook, some on pub groups and that.
Oh yeah.
Does anyone know where there's any sandbags, because they've run out everywhere?
Really?
So they're obviously preparing for, I'm guessing at Kelham, I imagine.
Yeah.
Or around that area, Hillsborough and whatever. So yeah, fingers crossed there's not too much damage gets caused if it does get really bad.
I saw a video from Hillsborough Corner looking down the Don. There's them houses, isn't there, on the right hand side, and it looked close to going in. So I do. We do sincerely hope that's, it must be one of the worst nightmares or something like that.
Oh, awful, isn't
something
it?
like
It's
that.
awful. And they think that houses, pubs, and it's awful. Isn't it?
Yeah, we are going to talk about that in a second. Now, as always, we always ask for your 3-word match reviews on Twitter at WTID Pod. If you do want to follow us, 2,500 of you are following us at the moment, which is absolutely incredible. I will just read some of them out. Ross Stevens, half-time subs. I think obviously, they changed the game, didn't they? To be fair, Gibson got an assist, Berahino and Patterson both got a goal. You can't really ask for much
we
more
were just
than
saying,
that, really.
we mentioned it before, and I think we'll talk about it in the WhatsApp group. We're just saying, he realised we were struggling, and he made the changes. And like people saying, "Oh, does that mean he's picked the wrong starting 11?" Probably,
yeah.
But he had the balls to change it.
Yeah.
And sorry to, I think it was Luke in the group. I got a bit, I got a bit on the Darren Moore defensive, didn't I?
You did, to be fair.
I shouldn't be putting messages in that group when I've had a beer. I get too passionate.
Yeah, I know. I did see that.
So apologies, mate. I do apologise. I got me back up a little bit there.
That's fine. Nigel Laws, come from behind. Steady on.
Who was that? Brian Laws.
Nigel Laws, that one. Stu Williams, Sido turns up. Adam Dallimore on the same vein. Berahino, he's back. I don't even think he was there to start off with, to be fair. I don't think he's come back. I think he's just showing, hopefully showing us what he can do. Dazza, they was shit. They weren't great. I can see why they are where they are. Let's read another one. Blake Bamforth, Berahino for captain. Won't quite go that far.
Berahino for PM. Get Boris out.
Yeah. Gareth Nibbler, Sido, Berahino. These 3 words there, nice. Dave Howell, just a bit what you just said there. Wrong starting lineup, and like you said, he's held his hands up. He says, "I've got it wrong." But how many times do you see where you can visibly see that something's going wrong on the pitch, but it's almost like the manager, whoever that manager be, whether that's Darren Moore this season or whatever, it's like they're frightened to change it and what have you. But
too early or whatever. Like,
no. It's dragged. I mean, no one wants to be dragged at half time, but like we said, they weren't going to score in a month for Sundays, were they? To be fair, Robert Bonser, we deserved that. Then Ryan James has put that wasn't expected. I don't really know what he means on that one, because I thought we played.
Yeah, I think.
thought we played
Yeah, I don't
quite
know
well.
if yeah.
Although maybe it's the coming from behind.
Yeah, the
Do you know what I mean?
game circumstance. Yeah.
I saw a statistic, and it was something ridiculous, like it's been 140 or 150.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
150 something games, and we've won 10 points from
going behind away.
Yeah, since that Birmingham game that we won 6 years ago. South Florida Owl subs change game. Steve Hurts Owl on Twitter 3-1.
Yes,
that's a good one. Carl Hodgkin on the winning from behind away from home. It's about time. And Mark Lewis, I think there's a bit of tongue in cheek here. Always rated Sido. So yeah, I mean, I think all in all, we've come from behind, which is great. I don't think we've got that monkey off his back. I mean, just don't go behind in the first place, to be perfectly honest. But it's just football's a weird sport. It's why we love it, innit? Because half time I'm thinking
how the hell are we not leading? But we've put, and yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? Because like I've done the last few games, we created quite a few chances, but it's just like sod's law, weren't it? And it was like, oh, if this carries out. And then it took us a while to get that goal as well.
I know. And in the past, them games, we'd have lost them. Or we might have got a draw.
Yeah,
got a 1-1.
Yeah.
And I, when it was 1-0 down, I was saying, like, we need to get back in, we can't score a goal. But then the goal will only get us to 1-1. And it's Doncaster, we need to be beating, really. Like,
well, 100%. Imagine if we'd have not got noise from... Then what?
Well,
on dark side.
I know, yeah, and and fair play to him, showing that heart and that desire, and actually, because I'd like to Giles be here, like he probably obviously he's played however many games he has played it, but it's easy to kind of perhaps think it's not our day. When you want them to keep going and keep going and keep, and I know they should because that's the job and that's what they get paid for. But everyone's human at the end of the day, aren't they? But to keep going, to keep trying whatever they've been doing on the training ground, and it paid off. I just want to talk about a few players I've picked out. Now, one who's for me, I think I've already mentioned it before, like the first name on the team sheet, and he's carried on his form. Marvin Johnson for me.
Yeah, mate, brilliant.
He's been just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like you said, if you said at the start after the first few games that he started on the left hand side.
It was awful. It's like the Berahino.
Get him back in transfer window.
He was one of the worst players that we had. But he's, I know he's playing wing. He probably wants to be a winger, but he's playing wing back.
Oh, it's best he's played.
He's bombing forward.
Yeah.
And I think 8 crosses he had. I think he had 8. I think Bannon had 8. Hunt had 7. So he's obviously, the narrative is get the ball in the box. Obviously, just got to convert them chances now. But yeah, for me, Marvin Johnson, he has been.
Oh, he's been so good, hasn't he? He's put some great, but like some of the balls he puts in, and he's 100% effort as well. He'll chase anything down.
Yeah. I think you're a bit harsh because I looked at how many assists he's got, and I think he's got 2 assists. And obviously, when you watch, I don't know if the first goal goes down as his assist because he puts the ball across. But obviously, he has a shot. Patterson has the header, and it comes back out. I don't know if that goes down.
I don't think it will. He won't technically go down as an assist.
It'd be a bit harsh because he's put the ball in the box. But yeah, for me, he is one of the first names on the team sheet. And at the start of the season, if you'd have told me that Marvin Johnson would be, almost like an indispensable player this season.
I mean, at the moment, I know obviously we've got lots of injuries and whatever else, but like the midfield picks itself, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, it's a shame Mendes Lang isn't fit, but Hunt's doing all right because I think that was there's quite a few people saying we've got no threat without Mendes Lang there. We just looked toothless up front, like even just going forward.
Yeah,
and as good as Johnson is, and he's getting the balls in there. But then it just proves, like, I was worried at one, like you said at half time, I was a bit worried. I was thinking, oh God. Yeah. But them two put themselves about up front in the second half, didn't they? So fingers crossed, like I say, if we get going. That was ideal though. Like we were saying, like I keep saying to you, one of them, we need one striker to get a goal. And if Gregory comes back, someone to partner him who's in decent form, both of them got a goal.
Yeah, exactly. So both staking claims for starting. whether we play on Tuesday or
Sorry,
whether
I went off on a tangent there, didn't I?
a little bit. It's all right. No worries. I mean, another name I've got written down there, Lewis Gibson. Now he's played 90 minutes, 45 minutes in the league against Bolton. Then he got injured. He's been back to Everton. He's come back. Obviously, we saw that he was training. There weren't really any whispers that he were going to even be in the squad on Saturday, but he was there on the bench. I didn't really expect to see him.
No, it was
he brought him on, and I thought
it's a strange sub, weren't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll get on to I'll come to Gibson in a second, but I kind of feel a bit sorry for Brennan, because every time he's come in and filled a gap and not really disgraced himself, he's had a decent game, but then there's always been someone else that's just better than him, that's just ahead of him on the pecking order. Because I think Gibson is shown. I knew there was a player in there. I saw him against Mansfield in the Pizza Trophy. He played 45 minutes, and his range of passing were second to none. And I was quite excited to see what he could do. Obviously, he only played 45 minutes against Bolton, but for me, like now, if Hutchinson's still out, you don't play Brennan. You play Gibson, Palmer, and Story, which is harsh on Brennan, young lad and what have you, but it's the harsh reality, isn't it? That
and he's still in his trade, isn't he? How old is he?
So I want to say he's
early 20s.
Yeah, 2021, something like that.
Yeah. So he's and he probably knows what the crack is without being too hard. It is harsh, but
football's harsh, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And
what did you think to Gibson when he came on?
You know what? I didn't. It's not, you don't really like without being, when I did play football to any sort of level, I wasn't a defender, so it's not really, unless someone has a stinker or a worlder, you don't really notice, do you? And obviously he went forward and got the assist. That's
the thing, it's, I suppose when a defender does go forward like that, it's, the other team aren't really expecting it, are they? They're not expecting to pick up a defender. Do you know what I mean? They're just... well, it's like an extra man, isn't it? Almost. They're not, if someone is going to pick him up, it's going to be the striker. He ain't going to track back, is he? So, he's bombing forward, whether that were what he's been told to do.
That's what they've been doing, isn't they? As Palmer's done it a lot. That's why I fancied him for a goal. To be fair, because
he was getting closer. To be fair, Palmer, weren't he?
Yeah, and he didn't do it as much yesterday, did he?
No.
But yeah, I think that is, even when Johnson and Palmer were both doing it, they were bombing on, weren't they? So
yeah,
it's good, and he looked, obviously he looked comfortable. And
well, I think now we've slagged Darren Moore off a few times. He's been saying in his press conferences and post match interviews, like, we played on the front foot, and you're thinking, really? We were playing, but I thought against Donny we were doing that, and that shows. With Gibson getting forward and stuff, and he does feel like a new signing, doesn't he? He's not been.
Yeah, well,
we signed him at the start of the season,
same as Byers, really, until recently. We've not seen him. We've seen him for, like I say, 90 minutes between two games, and he got injured. So again, another one. Hopefully. End of the season.
Yeah, hope they can keep fit. Exactly. Another one we obviously we do ask people about talking points and stuff, and someone mentioned talk about Jordan Story. I don't think we've talked about him a lot, really. To be fair, obviously came in at the same time as Harley Dean, but Story for me, he's come in and he's just changed that defence, hasn't he? He's just tightened it up.
It was just a missing link, wasn't it? It's just solid, like. And fair play to him as well. Hutch has obviously gone out and he's in the central role. And
I think
he got in
team of the week as well.
Yeah, and he's popping up from corners, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a threat, and he's not got that many. He hasn't got his goal yet. And what the game where Neely scored and with that Wigan?
Yeah, was there a chance in this game, or was it somebody else from a corner? I've got it. I've got something written down.
Brennan. It was Brennan.
Yeah, it was Brennan. Yeah, it was.
But yeah, he for me, he's solid. I think I don't know what he did or didn't do at Preston, or what Ryan Lowe.
He just fell out of favour, didn't he? I think.
Well, I don't know what he did to fall out of favour, because I think he's for me, he's done a job, and he's come in, and I think we lost against Rotherham. I mean, that's it, innit? That's the only game that we've lost with with Jordan's Story in the side.
Yeah, they're solid. I like him as a player, to be fair. I think it'd be useful one to try and keep hold of.
I was just about to say exactly the same thing. Like, if you look at someone to sign, definitely sign him, because he's not really put a foot wrong. He wins the headers. he's a weird one. He just does whatever he's expected of him. He's not flash.
No,
he's
no,
not
exactly, yeah.
He's not going to do any skill on ball. He's not. I wouldn't say he's particularly vocal. I don't when I'm at Hillsborough. I don't sit that far away from the touchline, and I can't say I hear him all the time like you do Bannon or Hutchinson, but he just does a job and he just does it well. Which at the end of the day, he won. I think he won more headers himself than the whole of the Donny Rovers side.
Wow, I didn't know that, to be fair.
So do you know what I mean? Aerially, we've not got the likes of Dunkley and what have you, and he doesn't strike me as a particularly. I mean, someone will be like screaming at him now, saying, he's 6'4", but he doesn't strike me as a particularly tall player.
Tall, does he?
No, but he's obviously.
Yeah, he will be. He'll be 6 foot plus, won't he? But
yeah,
Not
exactly.
us midgets.
I know exactly, but he's another one that I'm impressed with. Patterson, I've talked about him. Everyone's been saying, aren't they? Like we mentioned before, we don't know perhaps where his best position is. What's his role in the team? Where does he fit in? We've talked about whether we'd keep him at the end of the season. I think his contract's up at the end of the season. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but
I don't know, to be fair, I'm not sure on that.
But we've talked about him quite a lot. But he's an important player in that. There's no two ways about it. He's an important player.
Oh, mate, 100%. I you know me, I back his corner a lot of the time. I like him. I just think he's a valuable player to have, like you said. And he came on with purpose yesterday. He wanted to.
Do you think he's more of an impact sub?
It's hard, isn't it? Because he played a game against Wigan away, and that was him and Gregory up front.
Yeah, well, yeah. Scored against Oxford.
So it's weird, isn't it? I don't know.
His best game was against Sunderland.
And that were when he were on the right.
At home, and he played on right midfield, which I know he's played all over. He's played at centre back and what have you. He's played here, there, and everywhere. I think he's important because of his versatility.
So would you start them two next game?
You've got to, haven't you? Really?
Up front, yeah.
They've both scored. We looked a different side when they came on. My only worry is that is it gonna. Are they going to have that same impact to get again? And is it just like, is it just because we were playing Doncaster? No disrespect. All right. Hopefully the Fleetwood game goes ahead, which, we'll come on to in a sec, but I don't, if that game does go ahead, they're also struggling down near the bottom, not scoring goals, conceding a lot. That's why they're down there where they are. They perhaps might have the same sort of chances, but you look at, put it this way, I ain't starting Canberra, and I'm not starting Silasau.
And I think Berahino needs a start after that.
Oh yeah,
for him personally, and if we want him to kick on,
yeah.
Like, I just hope that that he comes off now. Like it'd be brilliant if he did. I'm happy for him because he does obviously. The thing is with him, I don't think he ever looked like he's not bothered. I think he was one that's just trying too hard, Berahino.
Yeah.
Because even when he was coming on, his touches were going here, there, and everywhere. You could see how frustrated he was.
Yeah.
I personally don't think I've never really questioned if he was bothered. So I do. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Pato as well. To be fair.
I mean, fair play to Berahino. I mean, I hope he don't listen to this podcast because I'll definitely not be getting a Christmas card off him. But you've got to give credit where credit's due. And like I said in midweek, I did say I think it's time for him to start. Just because I was looking and I was like, where's the goals going to come from? We'd not scored against Rotherham, and we had chances. We didn't score. All right, we did score from the penalty spot against Wigan, but again, we had to resort to a penalty to get that goal. I were looking and thinking, actually, the goals are drying up, and we need to score
like
from
we
somewhere.
said, didn't we? We said, I don't know if we did say it. I said it to you. I've definitely said it to you, whether it were on here or not. I can't remember, but we can't. You go through spells where other people chip in that aren't your strikers, but we're getting to the end of that, weren't we? Like
we do miss Gregory. That's top and bottom. We miss his goals. He's got eight goals this season, and they have been important goals. And it's not just that. I think it's the assist that he's got. I think he's like he was at one point top assist as well. So we do miss, and there's no two ways about it. Canberra. So what do we what do we say about them? I think they've come under a lot of flack, and you've been a bit defensive, haven't you? On
Canberra more so. So's like Well, he's done well coming on as a sub. Oh, did he score in the game he started? I can't remember. But
he scored against Plymouth, and I think he started that game. I think, and he came on as a sub against Burton when he scored that goal. Everyone thought it were Bannon's goal.
Yeah. He just seems a bit inconsistent, doesn't he?
Do you know what? Right?
He looks like from one of them performances. I can't remember which one, but he played a game and he played really well. And then yesterday was just like, is that same bloke?
For me,
Jekyll and Hyde. Like.
For me, yesterday, I thought he just won a competition. You know what I mean? He just won a competition to play up front for Sheffield Wednesday because
we're struggling.
He put a fiver in. He'd won raffle, and his number got picked out, and he just said, say, "Oh, who are you? Oh, I'm Florian. Oh, I'm Silla." You know what I mean? Like that's what it felt like, and I mean, he's a weird one anyway because I when we signed him, I'd heard, he said, she said, whatever, that the rumour were that taxi driver had picked him up from airport and and obviously where you're going, Hillsborough, and they got chatting and what have you, and I've signed for Sheffield Wednesday, and father-in-law told me because someone at his work had told him, and I'm like, Silla, so like I thought it were a joke at first when I heard it. I'm like, I don't vouch for knowing every single footballer up across the world, but I've got a bit of a knowledge. Do you know what I mean about footballers? Yeah. And I'm like, I have never heard of him in my life. And anyway, I googled him and I thought, he's a fucking footballer, like from where the Dutch Ronaldo, as people have coined him, not after Saturday. But I was like, is this real? Like, I've never heard of him. I've never even heard of teams that he's played for. And then lo and behold, we've announced the signing of him, and it's just a really bizarre.
Well, Ivan Canberra are bizarre, really, aren't they? Like, never heard of either of them.
Someone's had his pants down,
and we just it's that thing, innit? If we weren't in the situation we're in, there wouldn't have been players that would have got. I don't think it was. We just needed to bulk the squad up, didn't we?
Yeah, freezing loans.
Freezing loans. Shopping in freezing loans.
Yeah.
Hey, we won't be in summer though, apparently.
Oh yeah, that's it. Hey, big spenders will be making some right signings in summer.
God,
what league will be in?
Let's not go down that route again.
No, I know. There's no point, is there, really, to be fair? I just want to take this moment just to thank the Terrace, as always, who allow us to do the giveaway each and every week for the Patreon members. For those that don't know, the Terrace do all sorts of club merchandise, mouse mats, bar runners, mugs, replica retro shirts, swimming shorts as well now, mate. They're looking nice. You name it, they do it. Obviously, head over to theterracestore.co.uk to have a look at what they have to offer. Obviously, remember to be entered into the draw. All you've got to do is sign up to be a Patreon member. As a member, you also get access to over 30 interviews that we've done so far with former players, managers, and also a chairman in there as well. This week's winner of the prize draw is Anthony Faulkner. So, Anthony, please get in touch. Drop us a message either on Twitter or over on Patreon. Have a look on the website, pick which mug is that you want and what personalisations you need, and drop me a message and I'll get that all sorted for you. Congratulations, Anthony. Right, so let's talk about a few other things. Injuries. We keep talking about it every week. Obviously, Nathaniel Mendes-Lang is out for what they said 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. Hutch is also out. Just on the Mendes-Lang one, I mean, obviously, we won the game on Saturday. It looks like we don't necessarily need him. I'm sure we do need him, but do you know what I mean? It didn't really affect us on Saturday. But how frustrating is it that we get a player like Mendes-Lang? He comes in, he shows, Kobe Anu, who had that, showed that spark. He then leaves, and we're thinking, oh God, who forgot that can fill that void? Mendes-Lang's done it with aplomb. I think he's come in and done fantastic. And then he gets an injury. It's just so frustrating.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Because like you say, he didn't. He came on a sub a few times. It took him a while to get going, but he started getting there, and
yeah,
it's just like you say, very frustrated, isn't it?
Do you think there's anything? Obviously, Giles mentioned about the pitch, and some of the players had told him that they hate the pitch and it's like rock underneath. Do you think there's anything in that's what's causing these injuries, or?
I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Because the pitch. I mean, obviously, there's loads of stuff. People are going on about pitch and what have you. And for me, it's quite. we've played. Who's played that many home games in a short space of time? When was the last time we played that many home games in a short space of time?
Yeah.
Grass is never going to grow back.
Yeah.
And it's been crap weather for the month. So that's my bit on it. You know what I mean? But if it is hard, like you say, it has torn up quite a bit. And if it is really hard underfoot, it can't be.
It's not going to help, is it?
It can't be. It can't be doing. Yeah, it can't help. Like so, but like you said, I think there was something on in one of them pieces, weren't there, when they did the pitch saying it's because it were a floodplain or something. It's just what's there. So unless you fucking excavate it for however far down or whatever, you know.
And exactly how far do you go? I'm sure, people have been saying, Chansiri spent £1 million on the pitch or whatever. Like, how far do you go, really? Like, I suppose until we ask him or talk to him, nobody's ever going to know, are they? What was offered to him, what he chose?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly,
like whether they've said, look at this. We need to do X, Y, and Z. And it might not even be that's the problem, but it is a bit of a worry if what Giles has said is true, which I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
That the players don't like playing.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is,
in the back of your mind, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. If you're thinking about it and you're not thinking, it's like when we said playing when you're injured.
Yeah.
Or if you think you're injured and you're not going to fully commit, or you're worried about a knock, you're not going to. And that's when you get injured more, innit?
Yeah.
So if you're worried about it, it can't be good.
Yeah, exactly. Which we'll have to see. But I mean, we've seen the pictures and what have you. Iorfa's on the grass. Obviously Gibson who came on, so it looks like he's probably staking a claim for a start in the next games, whichever ones that might be. So there is positive signs, and there is players that are starting to come back. One that's kind of gone off the radar, and I've not heard anything about, Deli Bashiru. Yeah,
I saw something. There was a bit in the Star, weren't there? Did you see it? I think
I've not seen that. No.
It was just like all the injuries and estimated.
Oh yeah.
But
nothing's much been said about him.
No, I think
he went off. He went off at half time, didn't he?
I thought the same, and then it said he's damaged his ankle ligaments. That's what. Okay. So obviously we thought it was an impact straight away, unless we said it looked like it got him on the bet. So it must have
done something. Yeah. But these other ones, Dean, we've not heard. Tyrese John Jules. Like, do you know what I mean? He's 17 minutes, and apparently he's back at Arsenal, carrying on his recovery and what have you. So whether we're going to see him, I've no idea. It's just when I look at the injuries and stuff, and for us to be where we are. I mean, it's tight as well at the top. We're going to talk about where, I'm going to ask you where you think we're going to finish a little bit later on, but it's that tight at the top of the league, and we've had Arthur's team out for most of the season. It does make me wonder, like, what would it have been like if we'd have had all these players fit from the get go? I'd like to think we'd be top of the league.
It's weird, isn't it? Because it's like people have said, there's always going to be some people who are not going to praise Aaron Moore ever because he looks so funny on her when he went to Doncaster or something.
Yeah, I
know. But they say, "Oh well, we're only doing this well because he's only got a smaller pool of players to pick from and all this rubbish." And it must be true to a point. But you'd like to think that the thing is, it's kind of. Like you said, at the start, it was all, he doesn't know his best 11, whatever. And then due to what has happened, he's kind of had to mold. He's had to change his system. He's had to
play wingers at left back.
And all sorts. And it has come together, so I don't know, because I think it would have still taken a long time, but you'd think we'd be better than what we are. Maybe contending for auto, but
it's
you never know, do you?
It's a good point what you make though. Like, I think and Barry Bannon's mentioned it as well. Like, the injuries, they have kind of forced his hand a little bit, haven't they? They've forced us to play in a certain players. Like, you look at that midfield three, we haven't really got anyone else to play there at the moment, so they do almost pick themselves.
Yeah.
Do you think like having a big squad is like a detriment? Because, for example, say George Byers has a shocker, like a terrible. Well, look at the Canberra and Siliso. They've had a shocker. They got dragged at half time. They're probably not going to start the next game because we've got another two that can step in. if we haven't got them other two, they're going to have to play the next game. And I mean, I don't think this would happen, but the next game they could have an absolute worldie. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because you've got a big squad.
It's tricky, isn't it? It's tricky. It can work both ways, can't it? Because it was like when, for example, Rhodes.
Yeah.
As much as he's a flop and whatever else, I don't think he had the best. We didn't give him the best crack at whip, did we?
Because we had service either.
But at certain points, we had, like at one point we had what? Forestieri, Rhodes, Zhao, Nuyo. Goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And I think in that case, sometimes it's a bit, because it's literally have one bad game, you're out.
Exactly, that's what I mean. And then you might not get back in for 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the pressure's on when you come back into the side.
But then at the same time, it works, doesn't it? Because when we have got injuries, we've got them there. So it's just, I think it can work both ways. To be honest, it's tricky, isn't it?
I mean, you mentioned Darren Moore there. Like, I think I mentioned it. I don't know if it this debate show this week or the week before, but I was saying how is it time to start giving him some praise, because it almost feels sometimes like, when we do crap, it's Darren Moore's fault. When we do great, it's an excellent team performance. I think we have to give him some credit, because we've mentioned already today he made the 2 changes, which ultimately changed the game, because they scored the goals. 2 ways about it. They scored the goals that helped us win the game. I think we've said it time and time again this season so far. He's not had his best team to pick. He's had injury after injury. It must be so frustrating when you're working on something in training. Next minute, he's on physio's bench. But he's stuck at it. He's been getting flack from left, right, and centre. The local media have been at him at certain points in the season. I think Radio Sheffield even asked him straight up and said, "At what point is it time? Is it game over? Like, is it time to move on and what have you?" They're like, and he's had to come under some. I mean, even we've been quite critical of him at times this season, but to do what he's doing now, and we got all right. We didn't beat Rotherham, but they're at the top of the league for a reason. But we've bounced back, and he's not doing that bad, is he? Really, to be fair,
yeah, mate. I think he's doing a great job. And people say, "Oh, he knew what he was coming into. He knew it was going to be an hard job and whatever else." Number one, fair play to him. Because it's not let's be honest, it's not the most attractive job, is it?
Not really. Not when we're under an embargo, a points deduction, a team that were quite frankly shy. I'm looking like we're going to get relegated. So, we must be paying him a decent wedge to be fair.
And fair play to him, mate. I'm happy with him, and he needs time. Like I've banged the drum all season on that. Yeah. He needs time, and it's coming together. There might be. But you can't, even if we'd had money to spend, we might have had a few key players that we could have got and whatever else that had helped us more. But no one at that level could have done a better. I don't think anyone could have done a better job personally.
No, I mean,
realistically, like I've said before, if it weren't our club and you're looking at someone else's, if it were whoever who came down and they got rid of 15, however many went out the door and however many came in the door, some of which he'd probably didn't have much choice about because there were no bugger else to get in.
Yeah. Well, look at Ipswich. Ipswich aren't doing as good as what we are. Right? They're only just below us, but they had a similar turnaround of players. Donny Rovers, I didn't realise until I spoke to the lad on the Oppo's View, and he said that they've had a big reshuffle, and they didn't do that bad last season. To be fair, I know they tailed off in the after Darren Moore left, but they didn't do that bad, and now look where they are. So it's not an easy job to bring in that many players. They talk about cohesion and that like kind of spirit and stuff. It's like at work, if you've worked with someone for 5 or 6 years or whatever, you know them like the back of your hand and you know what they do and what have you. When you start a new job, you're a bit lost. You know what to do in the job. It's like the footballers, they know what to do. They know how to play football, but you're a bit like, it takes a bit of time, doesn't it, to get used to everything and to gel, and especially when everyone's like, I suppose it's a bit easier if everyone's like that because you're all the same. But then again, you'd want to just like kind of fit into an already cohesive group, and when you ain't got that, it's not as easy as you're thinking. Like you keep saying, shopping in the frees and loans. You're not gonna the players you're getting aren't perhaps. I mean, we don't even know if they were his targets. whether he wanted him, whether he didn't want him. You don't know, do you?
Yeah, and he's done. To be fair, he's done like Story and Dean. Obviously, we only saw 90 minutes of him, but it looked like it was going to be a great signing if they stayed fit. So he's done well as well. I just think, I just think he deserves a lot more praise than he gets personally. From my point of view, and like you say, the amount of injuries. He might have got a system or thinks he's got his best 11, and then suddenly
rug gets
like
pulled. It's like the rug getting pulled under his feet.
I reckon the only thing that has been upgraded this season has got to be fucking physio's room. He's going to have to have extended it.
He's knocked through a few walls, hasn't he? A few more benches. Put it that way.
Yeah,
it's just a bit of a joke, isn't it, with the injuries and what have you. Let's get onto the pitch. We spoke at length midweek about the pitch and what have you. Obviously, the game got called off against Fleetwood. An excellent video which you mentioned by Chef Cam, talking about the fact that the grandstand is stopping the light coming on. It's all in shadow where the sun is. Chansiri's not paid for the sun to be moved round and what have you. So it's his fault and all this, that, and the other. I do think that we've probably not spent as much on the pitch as we perhaps wanted to, with the fact that we've got relegated and lost, what is it, 10.5 million in COVID, lost 10.5 million in TV revenue and all the other things that come with it. That's probably not helped, and the fact that we've had, like you just said, so many games in such quick succession, it's causing a bit of a problem.
The thing is, I think that's been more overlooked than anything else. Like, when was the last time we've played? I know we've had one called off now, but it was going to be 6 home games in 30 days,
something like that.
It's unheard of.
Yeah, you have like 2 a week, is it 2 a month, don't you?
Even at like Premier League, they don't.
But they're not going to be doing anything to the pitch, are they? Like, they're literally going to be cutting it and rolling it.
What can you do, like, other than in February when it's been gloomy and dark and the grass isn't going to grow? There's only so much you can do, and if you keep playing on it when it's piss wet through, it's
you're not helping it, are you? Really?
So it's hard. It's an hard one, isn't it? And like we say, I don't really know enough about it, but surely that much wearing, no matter whose pitch it is, if you were playing that much, it's going to be.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously that could be least of the worries at the moment as we record it. It's currently not underwater. I don't know whether it might be by the time you listen to this podcast, but that it brings back the flashback to 2007. The difference being we're in the middle of the season now.
Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it happened in the middle of the summer.
Weren't it? Yeah.
Like June, July time when it happened. I think it was June. I think it was back in 2007. But if the worst does happen, and I've seen videos again, and that water on that south, where the south stand is, you don't realise as well that you go down to like the where you go into the ground and what have you. That's below like the level of the river, isn't it, almost? So no wonder that when the water comes over, that's it. And if it does breach and come in, what we're gonna do?
Mate, I don't even know. I was saying that.
Where do we go? Hillsborough Park. Get on Hillsborough Park and have a bit. You know what I mean? Like, do we play? Do we play it? Where do we? I really don't know.
Mate, I don't know.
Do we play at Millmore? Not Millmore. New York Stadium. They're not going to let us play there, are they?
Well, no, because then their pitch will be a stadium.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, do we? There didn't any other. Do we play at Ollerton? There's a pitch at middle of Ollerton, isn't there? might have to go there. That might be underwater. I was thinking about this earlier. Like, what would we do? Because we can't not play the games. Because or do the games then turn to away games and play at their ground? I mean, there must be.
Well, there must be. I don't know what they do. Would you have to
good at lane?
Would they nominate? Would there be so many teams that have to come together and say you can play them here and figure out a way of? Obviously, it's been a home game, but
like Donny, Rotherham, United, or I've absolutely no idea what would happen because surely, imagine that if we had to forfeit the games or something ridiculous like that because we can't fulfil his fixtures. It'd be an absolute nightmare, wouldn't it? I mean, I hope it doesn't happen, but by the time you listen to it, that could be a harsh reality.
Yeah.
And it's just a strange one. Like I said, I've seen the weather recently. It's been awful, hasn't it?
Well, it's another storm, isn't it? This is the third storm now. I don't know what someone's called.
Brendan
Fred or something.
something like
Sido.
The Sido storm. No, that's on Saturday.
That's what's coming up, yeah.
Yeah, but It's just like relentless. Just on a side note as well, you didn't turn on Big Jet TV, did you, on Friday?
Oh mate, that was so. One of my favourite tweets ever has gone out. I've not got my phone because obviously we're recording on it, but. I didn't watch it, to be fair. Then I looked on Twitter. I was like, "What's going off here? Everyone's going on about this." I've seen the videos afterwards, but it was something like however many 100,000 people tuned into Big Jet TV to watch whatever plane it was land at Heathrow. The question is, will they be at Stansted away next week?
Yeah, it was crazy. There were one. I saw one, and do you know, like, there's a video. I don't know if it's the World Cup or the Euros. There's one where the
crowd,
and the plane's coming in sideways, and then they all go up beer like gets chucked up when he lands it. And mate, it was like. It was bizarre. I mean, I put it on just because
everyone were going off about it. I think I was late to the party, to be fair.
200,000 people were watching it at one point, and this guy is just going, Go on, son, go on.
Like what's his name on Radio Sheffield Wednesday, Scott? Get in there.
Yeah, but that, it's crazy, and like, hats off to them pilots, man. Like, I'd be bricking it. I would be shitting my pants, like, with that cross.
Imagine being on the plane.
Oh man,
never mind driving it.
Me sister-in-law, she, like, a couple of years back, coming back from wherever they're coming back from, they ended up in something like Finland or something ridiculous. Like, ended up miles away. Had to stay there for 3 days. Like, no clothes. Like, they had clothes, obviously. But it was that windy.
Mate, that happened to us. Where were that now? I can't remember. We missed a connecting flight because it was delayed and whatever.
You weren't
else.
Pissed, were you?
And then no. This was this is when I was younger. So
okay. That didn't stop you.
we were flying from Miami, and we're coming via New York back home. But the first flight got delayed 6 hours, so we're stuck in New York. But his bags had been sent. I think they ended up in fucking China or something.
Really?
It took about a month to come back. yeah. So we were in not the worst thing, New York for 3 days, but at the end of our holiday, I bet my mother was skinning, she was fuming. I bet having to buy new clothes in New York, and then
right. Let's get on to where do you think we'll finish then? So 14 games to go, 42 points to play for. Now, I was looking at the fixtures and what have you, and obviously we've played Rotherham twice, we've played Wigan twice, Sunderland, Plymouth, Oxford, Ipswich. We've played them all twice. I know Ipswich are a little bit below us, but I think we've only got MK, Wickham, and Bolton, who are 10th left to play again. Everyone else is below that. Like Charlton that we've got at the weekend. We've got Fleetwood, Cheltenham. We've got AFC Wimbledon have got to come to our place as well. So we've got a lot of
winnable games.
I don't want to say easy fixtures, but we haven't got the likes.
Well, it's the games that we weren't putting to bed in the first half of the season, so we'll see. And we've last few weeks we've said there's a few where we wouldn't have won and we'd have drawn and whatever. So we've done well, mate. You know what? I
put a poll out. I put top two, third or fourth, fifth or sixth, or outside the playoffs.
Sixth on the last day.
Really? Is that what you think?
That's my prediction.
Well,
that's kind of. I think we should. The position we're in. Not that we should, but ideally we could finish fifth. I think we could be in there quite securely, but. I thought the other day, watch it, we've got Wickham, Wickham second to last game, and then Portsmouth
something like
last game at home.
Yeah.
I just thought it'll be tight. Sixth, like last game, or game second to last game, penultimate game.
I mean, look, I'll take it. Like it's a playoffs at the end of the day, and I think with the injuries, we've mentioned it again. Like, I think that will be well deserved. Like, to be fair, and like a big massive pat on the back. For me. I'm probably leaning towards fifth, maybe fourth. I mean, it's tight. Like, there's a point
tight,
that separates like 5 teams so far. Sunderland are dropping like a stone. They've lost 4 and drawn 1 in the last 5.
Who did they lose to then?
They lost to MK Dons because he scored, didn't he? Wickham.
Ah, yeah, it was 2-1, weren't it? Yeah, I remember putting it in group, didn't I? Says Wickham
you were nailed on to score, weren't it, to be fair?
I forgot you were even there until it popped up. Yeah, no, that's right. And then obviously there were Wickham game.
Well, yeah, that Wickham fight. Like, honestly, I mean, I don't know about you, but I always have to I use Flash Scores. Yeah. Not sponsored, but good app if you want to download it. I always like favourite the games like Rotherham.
Yeah, the
Wigan.
ones that are important to us. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Always, you have to remember to uncheck Wednesday if you're watching a stream because you sometimes get notified of a goal before it's even gone in.
I was in the pub yesterday, and I before. Oh, we scored apparently. We scored apparently. I the only one in pub with it on my phone. And they go, we scored apparently. There were a group of young lads behind me with the parents, and they were all Wednesday fans. So
that's it. You've got to turn. I have to turn group chat off as well because sometimes if some fans are there and what have you, you get notified again before it's before you've actually seen it. But yeah, I do. I had that Wickham game on, and it was like next goal. I can't remember.
They went 1-0 down.
Yeah.
Then they went 2-1 up.
3-1. I think they were 3-1.
3-1. And then it was
3-3.
And then it was 5. They went 5-3 up.
At that point, I thought they're home and dry now. Like 5-3 up near end. Cheltenham have had a good go at it, but yeah, they've
I don't know if it's the last 3 times they've played, or if it's the last 3 times they've played at whichever ground they were at. It was 3-3, 3-3, 5-5.
The Wickham games are mad, aren't they? Like they're just crazy. And at the time, I was looking. I think it was like 3-2 or something, and it were 1-0 to Doncaster at the time. And I was like, why is there so many goals at all these other games? And we're struggling to get a goal. But yeah, I mean, teams are slipping up. I mean, I know. Wickham slipped up there. They got a point. I think Sunderland slipped up. I think everyone else won. To be fair. But look, if we keep winning our games, it don't
you can't worry.
But
the thing is, do what we need to do, and if it, we've got a game in hand on Oxford.
Yeah, a few of them. To be fair, yeah.
Whoever.
Sunderland, I think we've got a game.
And
in
then
hand
someone's
on
got a game in hand on us as well. Someone's only played 31. Is it Plymouth?
Might be Plymouth, yeah.
Obviously,
Wigan have only played 12 games or something ridiculous. They've got.
Well, they keep cocking up their games in hand as well, don't they? To be fair. Or did they end up winning one the other day?
Well, they drew against Rotherham on Friday.
Yeah.
They lost against us, and I think they've won the two.
Because there was one where they got a late winner, didn't they? I think they were going to draw, and they got a winner in the end. So fair enough. But yeah, like I say, if we just keep winning, mate.
Well,
we'll be up there.
I put the poll out. 373 votes, 9% top 2, 35% went for third or fourth. 46.5% went for fifth or sixth, and only 9.5% think outside the playoffs. So, top 2. I think that's not.
Yeah,
really.
unless something mad drastic happens. Like
someone tweeted and said something like, I think Matt Glossop, who goes by the name of Ginger Owl on Twitter. I take it the 15% didn't do maths at school at the time. I think 15% had voted for top 2. And my reply was, well, actually, they probably did do maths because mathematically speaking, it is still possible to get top 2. Yeah. He replied back by saying, I also did probability in maths as well. So, yeah, the probability of us getting top 2 is very slim in it, to be fair.
Yeah.
And look, it's not if we go on an amazing run from now, who's to say we get top 2? But look, if I were a betting man, I'm not putting my fiver on us finishing top 2 anyway. Put it that way.
I think we should finish. Should is a way, but see what happens. It's like even if it's thing is if it's close, it adds to the.
Yeah, what you don't want is the team that finishes third being like a runaway team.
Yeah.
Although saying that, sometimes it works. If they just miss out on playoffs, they're like Brighton. I think Brighton just missed out on the playoffs, didn't they? Or did they not? I can't remember. But anyway, when there's a team that's just missed out, it's like the heartbreak of nearly getting up is automatic, and then now they've got to play another, 2, maybe 3 games to get up. Sometimes the team that's just crept in and gone on a crazy run.
Like was us. We were 6th in last 05, weren't it? We finished 6th.
Yeah, that's it. And you have
did we finish 6th in when we got to the final against Hull? Did we finish 6th?
Not too long ago. I can't really remember. To be fair,
so
that's what I mean. I'm sure we were. I'm sure Brighton finished 3rd, but that's like that momentum and what have you. So the fact that it's close, you'd like to fancy your chances, but it's a bit of a lottery in it when you get to get the playoffs. To be fair, but I just love to, go to Wembley and kind of put right the wrongs of 2016, really. So let's just talk about the upcoming fixtures that we've got now. supposed to be playing Fleetwood. As it stands, it looks like it's still going ahead officially, but unofficially, I don't think it is going ahead.
No.
And then we've got Charlton on Saturday. Yeah, but as long as they're pitching underwater and we're having snorkels and what have you to play. Let's assume that they are going ahead for a second. Fleetwood on Tuesday night at their place. I think it's it's the first time that we've been to. Is it Highbury, they call it?
Highbury, yeah, it's Highbury, yeah.
Yeah, first time we've been there, obviously only the second time that we've ever played Fleetwood. They're struggling, they're 19th in the league. Like I said about the Donny game, we've got to be looking to go there and give them a bit of a hike, really,
definitely.
to be fair.
100%. And off the back of this latest win, we should be flying. And again, it could be another tricky one.
Yeah, they're going to be up for the fight, aren't they? A point for them will be massive. Like they're in a bit of a relegation dogfight, aren't they, at the moment? Like I said, the 19th. So what? I think there's like the likes of Gillingham and Crewe, Donny. I can't remember the one that's down there as well, but Cheltenham, I think it might be. They're all struggling, and they're going to be fighting for the lives, really, aren't they?
Well, yeah, exactly. And like you say, it could be a tricky one, but we should. I think we should. I mean, we should beat him. Let's be honest. Same as Donny, we should hammer him.
But do you see obviously I put a picture in the on Twitter as well. The pitch.
Oh mate, well I sent it to you a few weeks ago, didn't I?
Yeah, the MK Dons
Well, it
game.
was after. Yeah, it was when we played Ipswich, weren't it? I think.
Yeah,
because
I
said, bloody hell, people were in about our pitch. Look at the state of this.
I know, it was terrible, weren't it? Like the puddles
so
and what have you.
that's another thing. If it does go ahead, it could be very tricky.
Yeah.
And if the weather stays like it is, windy and all that jazz. And thing is, though, I don't know. I've not really seen. Is their ground quite open? They've not got massive stands.
Yeah, they've not got big stands at all. Yeah,
because if it does, the thing is, if it stops raining and it's windy, it could dry out. Because obviously, there's nothing stopping the wind. So
the thing is, I was talking to obviously the game against Atkinson's got called off the other day. This game might look to get called off as well. Normally, when games get called off, you get a bit of a fixture pile up. But the thing is with these ones, because the midweek games, you're already playing Saturday and Saturday anyway.
We were catching up like this period, so
like
it probably works out better. Slot them in. They'll probably win arm on holiday, won't it? That's it's an extra home game, but it'll work. It could work out quite well.
Ben asked the question.
You just don't want them to be too late in the season.
No, because but then again, like Ben asked the question: would you rather, like, we've just come off the back of a win, we're playing well. We've had 4 wins. All right, we lost against Rotherham, but we've bounced back to winning ways. Confidence will be fairly high. Would you rather? I mean, this is really a question for Giles, but would you prefer to play on Tuesday, even though we've got the likes of Gregory out, who Windass, Hutchinson, etc. Would you prefer to play the game without them players because we're on a bit of a high, or would you prefer not to play the game and then perhaps play it in 4, 5, 6 weeks' time and have them players back potentially?
It's tricky, isn't it? It is tricky. Again, it's double, one or the other. I'd prefer, to be honest, I'd rather us play it now.
Yeah,
we're in good form. I'd rather us play it now because you never know down the line we might have a bit of a blip. And
and also said that Gregory's going to come back after his layoff and
score 10 goals.
I hope he does, but he might not mind. Like, for me, form is more important to me than trying to think, actually we need to get these players back. Well, it's not like we're playing. If we were playing as kids, do you know what I mean? If we were playing a side of under 23s because we've ran out of players, then fair enough. But the players that have come in, they're all more than capable enough. I mean, that like the side that we put out against Donny, it's not the side that we'd have picked at the start of the season by any stretch of the imagination when you look at the players that we've signed and what have you. But it was more than enough to beat, no disrespect, the likes of Doncaster.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's more than enough to beat the likes of Fleetwood. That's so for me. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, play the game, keep your form, and keep that rolling. Charlton on Saturday at home. Now, when I think of Charlton, in my head I had them down as a bogey side. Now I've looked, and I think we've won the last 3 of the 4 meetings that we've had. The draw
in it this year. First game of the season.
First game of the season was a draw. We'd beat them the previous three, so that theory of being a bogey side is straight out the window. but in my defence, I think the reason why is I always go back to 2012 when we got promoted out of League One, and Charlton went up as champions, and there was a game where they came to Hillsborough. I think they scored a free kick and they just cheated the whole time wasting.
I can't remember it.
Falling over,
remember stuff like that.
Rolling over on the floor, up to the ref all the time, all game. And they got the goal. I can't remember when they scored it. I think in the second half or something like that. But I just remember them as just being an horrible team to play. And like I said, they were top of the league at the time. And he just stuck in my mind. As to that just annoying thing. But I mean, you look at some of the games that we have played against him. There were one, Fletcher scored that penalty. I think we won 3-1 when the keeper were giving him some jip.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and he went up to the goalkeeper, didn't he, and give him 4. And then there was the other one at Hillsborough where he scored in the 93rd or 94th minute. I can remember that one. That were Fletcher as well again.
Oh yeah.
That were limbs. That one.
Yeah. No, mate, I remember that one.
That were another one where they were. I'm sure they were like time waste. They was doing.
Mate, yeah, it was great. That was a good one. There's that one, and they were a different. Obviously, it was Fulham. I think it was Fulham, and we only drew. I think we drew 1-1, but we got a late goal, and it felt like a winner because they were just being twats. Like they were just being horrible. Like, but now I remember that Fletcher one. Actually, yeah, it was good. There's
no better than a last minute goal, is it?
I love everyone who leaves and they leave and then they still stand it on cop on that bit.
That corner.
Yeah. No, not even on the corner, on the this divide, the bit between
where you leave to go onto Penistone Road. Yeah.
They're all still there. It's like, just sit back down. Why are you going in?
What gets me is when they've left. And there's
they run back in.
I know now it's a bit different now, isn't it? Because you do actually see an instant replay on the screen. But before, when we had the shit screen, and they'd leave and then they'd run back in, it's like, mate, you're not gonna see the instant replay. Like, goal's gone, mate. Like, you're not gonna see it. Fuck off and watch it on telly when you get back home or something like that. But yeah, for me, there's no better than a last minute goal.
Yeah, and at home, the form we're in at home and whatever else. Again, we should be beating Charlton. Where are they in the league? I don't even know where they are in the
Charlton
league.
Are 16th. They're struggling this season.
They've not done great, have they?
Not really.
We thought that at the start of the season, we thought, decent draw first game of the season against someone who tipped to go up and whatever else. And
it's funny actually. Like at the start of the season, I would have had Charlton. I'd have had Ipswich up there. I probably had the teams that are up there. MK Dons, would I have had them up? Probably like an outsider.
Yeah.
To be fair, but everyone else, Wickham,
Rotherham, and Wigan.
They were always going to be up there. But yeah,
at the start of the season, you think there's 10 teams contending in there in that league. I think
like Bolton were probably another one who I thought might have done. I mean, I know they're starting to come up. They've come into some decent form of late, but it's a weird league, isn't it? I just hope that we get out of it as quickly as possible because it's weird and shit at the same time. Like,
the thing is, there's some good teams in there. And it's weird because I think...
But it's the shit teams that make it shit, like, because they just come for a point. And it's
no, exactly that. It's like, it is literally two halves of the table.
It's like the Premier League, isn't it? In a weird way. Like, if Watford go to the Emirates or they go to the Etihad, a point, that's like them winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, Fleetwood, if they come to Hillsborough and get a point, they've won World Cup. Do you know what I mean? Like, when Rotherham come to Hillsborough and win, it's like, open top bus parade and in Rotherham town centre. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones. Right, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Thanks everyone for listening. Obviously, let's see if it's worked on the YouTube.
We might be there.
For those that are watching, smash a like. I've always wanted to say that. but yeah, if you've enjoyed it, leave us a rating or a review. We do really appreciate it. Obviously, we've got the Oppo's view this week. We've also got the debate show as well. Hopefully, we've got a game to talk about. I don't think we will have a game to talk about, but we can talk about anything else that you want to talk to us. Follow us on Twitter at WTIDpod. And if you haven't watched us on YouTube, I will put the link in the description for the YouTube channel if you're listening to the podcast. So yeah, thank you very much, and we'll see you all next week.
Cheers, everyone.
You're listening to the Wednesday Till I Die podcast.